phone rang in the dead of night, a shrill, piercing sound that shattered the silence like a scream. Lucas jolted awake, his heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst from his chest. The room was pitch black, the only light coming from his phone screen flashing with an unknown number. "Who the hell calls at this hour?" he thought, rubbing his eyes. At first, he ignored it, but the ringing didn't stop. Over and over, relentless, almost desperate. A cold dread slithered down his spine as his finger, almost against his will, slid to answer. "You have 3 days." The voice on the other end was rough, hoarse, as if eroded by years of smoke and suffering. Lucas froze. Who is this?" he stammered, his hands trembling. 3 days, or she dies." The call dropped. Silence returned, but now thick with an unbearable weight. Lucas turned to look at his wife Marina, sleeping soundly beside him, oblivious to the terror that had just coiled around them. He had no idea what it meant. He only knew one thing. From that moment on, nothing would ever be the same. Lucas sat frozen, the phone still clutched in his damp palm. 3 days? 3 days until what? His mind raced through possibilities. A prank? A wrong number? But that voice, it carried a weight that made his stomach churn. Marina stirred beside him, murmuring in her sleep. The sight of her peaceful face twisted something inside him. "Or she dies." The words echoed like a death sentence. Day 1. By morning, Lucas had almost convinced himself it was just a nightmare, until his phone buzzed with a text from an unknown sender. Tick-tock, 72 hours left. Attached was a photo. Grainy, dark, but unmistakable. Marina walking into her office building yesterday. Someone had been watching. Someone was still watching. His hand shook as he called the police, but without concrete threats, they dismissed it as a cruel hoax. "Change your number. Block unknown callers," the officer advised, bored. But Lucas knew better. That afternoon, Marina laughed over lunch, oblivious as she talked about her day. He studied her, the way her nose crinkled when she smiled, the faint scar on her chin from a childhood fall. Would he lose her? Then his phone buzzed again. Day 2. Lucas woke to silence. Marina's side of the bed was empty. Panic spiked until he heard the shower running. He exhaled, but the relief was short-lived. On his pillow lay a folded slip of paper that hadn't been there last night. 2 words in jagged handwriting. "She's next." The shower stopped. Lucas crumpled the note, pulse roaring in his ears. They'd been inside his house. Desperate, he dug into Marina's past. Old grudges, exes, work rivals. Nothing stood out. By nightfall, he'd installed cameras, changed locks, but the texts kept coming. "You can't protect her." Marina frowned when he insisted she stay home tomorrow. "You're acting weird," she said. If only she knew. Day 3. The final message arrived at dawn. "Midnight. Answer the call." Lucas spent the day in a haze, jumping at shadows. He considered fleeing, but what if they were followed? What if she paid the price? 11:59 p.m. The bedroom was silent. Marina slept, unaware of the phone clenched in his sweating grip. "Ring." He answered. "Look outside." The voice wasn't on the phone. The closet door creaked open an inch. Lucas's breath seized in his throat. The phone slipped from his hand, clattering onto the floor. A shadow moved inside the closet, too tall, too wrong in the way it unfolded itself. Marina stirred beside him, her sleepy voice slicing through the silence. "Lucas?" "Shh." The voice from the closet was a wet whisper now, guttural. "You were warned." Lucas lunged for the lamp, fumbling as it crashed to the ground. In the fractured moonlight, he saw it step forward, not a man, not anymore. Its jaw hung slack, skin stretched too tight over bones that jutted at unnatural angles. And its eyes, God, its eyes were just black pits. Marina screamed. The thing lunged. Lucas woke up in a hospital, ribs bandaged, head throbbing. The cops said he'd been found in a ditch, mumbling about the call. Marina was missing. No signs of struggle, no evidence she'd ever been in the car with him that night. The nurses whispered when they thought he couldn't hear. Another one of those last call cases. On his third night in the ward, his phone buzzed on the bedside table. The screen lit up with a single word. Congratulations. Attached was a voicemail. Marina's voice, trembling. Lucas, I tried to run, but it's wearing Mr. Hendricks from next door like a suit. A wet crunch. Then its voice came through, cheerful. New rule. You get to live. But every year on this night, we call. You answer, and someone else dies. The call ended. Across the hall, another patient's heart monitor flatlined, and Lucas's phone rang again.